welcome to Thunder Alley. Oh, we love this time of year so much. Game 4 of the NHL playoffs tonight at 7:30 between the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Toronto Maple Leafs. You are getting a great look at Thunder Alley. And the weird part about this series is you never know if the opposition is flooding here in Tampa because they got the same colors. The Tampa Bay Lightning fans and the Toronto Maple Leafs fans are all one big happy family out here, but when 7:30 happens, animosity hits. This has been an exciting series. The Game 1, Tampa Bay crushes Toronto out of their own building. Game 2, the Maple Leafs answer right back with a 7-2 victory. And then in Game 3, an overtime affair where the Bolts lose in the final minute of the first overtime, the only overtime, 4-3, which was a heartbreaker considering they were leading 3-2 in the final minute of regulation. And no matter which way you slice it, played the better game. Analytically speaking, eyeball test, they were the better team, but that don't matter, right? The only thing that matters is the Toronto Maple Leafs up 2-1 in the series, and now the Bolts are in, I hate to say a must-win game, but it's a must-win game. Pat Maroon said that this morning after practice, and I'll just reiterate what he's saying, because even though they're guaranteed a trip back to Toronto for Game 5, going down 3-1 in a series is not good for obvious reasons, but Tampa Bay Lightning have only once overcome that sort of deficit. They did it in 2011 against the Pittsburgh Penguins. We know that they went down 2-1 in a series 3 times last year. They beat the Maple Leafs down 2-1, won Game 4, and then ended up winning the series in 7. They beat the Rangers in Game 4, down 2-1, beat the Rangers in 6 games, and then lost to the Colorado Avalanche in 6 games, down 2-1. They lost in Game 4 in overtime. That was the Nazem Kadri overtime winner. So we know what has happened historically speaking. John Cooper is a head coach who has seen a lot of hockey. Steven Stamkos, Nikita Kucherov, Alex Killorn, Andrei Vasilevsky, they've been here before as well, but look, they've logged a lot of miles. So the doubt starts creeping in. Can you keep doing this? Can you keep going to Stanley Cup Finals? And they got a tall task tonight, because you know that Sheldon Keefe and the Leafs, they want to sort of end things here. They know that the spirit might be broken if they can head back up to Toronto, leading 3-1. If the Bolts win, it's a 3-game series the rest of the way. Anything can happen. So we will see how that kind of happens. The number one headliner from this one, I think, would be the physicality. Erik Cernak, he goes down in Game 1 due to a dirty hit. Michael Bunting was suspended 3 games. This is the last game the Leafs will not have Michael Bunting on the ice. You hope Cernak can be out there in Game 5. Unknown right now. Braden Point was slammed into the boards in Game 3, which I hate to tell it to everybody out there. It was a clean hit. It was very unfortunate. John Cooper called it reckless, but I think by the letter of the law, you can't really throw him out of the game, let alone suspend him. And Pointer is probable for tonight. He's a game-time decision, but we think he's going to play. And he's clutching the playoffs, so they need him to play. But even when talking about the war of words in front of the microphone, John Cooper and Sheldon Keefe, man, they've been playing the referees that way. Sheldon Keefe saying that the Lightning, quote, manipulated the refs in a scenario where Steven Stamkos just rock'em sock'em roboted Auston Matthews. For the first time in NHL history, we had 2 60-goal scorers in a fight. That was the first fight of Auston Matthews' career. And to be fair, when you watch it back, Steven Stamkos just grabbed him and went to town on him. But that's playoff hockey. If you're going to slam Braden Point, if you're going to knock Cernak out of the game, retribution has to happen. So John Cooper went back at Sheldon Keefe in the Zoom session we had yesterday and pretty much negated any of that talk. But these guys are pissed. They're angry. and they want to settle the score, and the best way to do that is to even the series 2-2. So, Ish, I'm going to have you go around Thunder Alley here, drinking the environment here as I get a sip of water, as we're expecting some rain coming in tonight. But as you can see, when we have Thunder Alley, it's always an exciting environment to be a part of. If you don't want to spend the money to be inside Amalie Arena, I highly advise you to maybe come down here, bring a chair, spend the $5, have a couple of cold cruisers, and experience this type of atmosphere, because it is just as electric here as it is inside Amalie Arena. I don't know who's playing, but they're pretty good. They're a nice appetizer for what's to come. So once again, we are downtown in Tampa. Beautiful Thunder Alley. It's we think the rain's coming right around puck drop. We'll see what happens. One of the keys when talking with Bobby the Chief Taylor earlier on 10 Tampa Bay, one of the keys of this matchup is to make sure that they play pretty much the way they played in Game 3, and that's structure, breakouts, intensity. Even though the result didn't break your way, you have to continue to stay the course, and hopefully some puck luck will happen. We're expecting Andrei Vasilevsky to have a better performance this time around. We haven't seen it yet. In Game 1, he was solid, but gave up 3 goals. Obviously, Game 2 was a mess, giving up 7. And then on Saturday, he gave up 4, including the game winner in overtime. Now, some of those goals are explainable, but still, for the Tampa Bay Lightning to win this series, you cannot have Andrei Vasilevsky going 85% between the pipes. So the big cat is always a big focus. Peppering shots on Ilya Samsonov. Samsonov. That's another one. He has been iffy, but he was the X factor in Game 3, which resulted in the reason why the Maple Leafs probably won that game. And it would be nice to see Stammer get on the board. Kucherov score a goal. He did in Game 1. The power play is 0 for 6 in the last 2 games. Special teams needs to step up, and honestly, they would have scored a power play goal in Game 3 if the ref didn't blow a bad whistle on Braden Point. So there's a lot of factors that go into this marathon of a series. Nobody in that locker room is panicking. Everyone says that they have to stay even-keeled, kind of harken back on that experience. The Maple Leafs in this spot since 1994, they have only won once. They've only gone to 3-1 once since 1994. In these 2-1 scenarios, they've typically given it up. And in Game 4 scenarios with the backs against the wall, the Lightning are typically at their best. There's going to be a sense of urgency here from Tampa Bay, and you hope that it starts right out of the gates, because in Game 1, they were leading 3-0. In Game 2, they were down 3-0. And in Game 3, it was back and forth, tied at 2-2. They need more consistency, and they need to hold the Leafs to 3 or less goals. John Cooper's magic number is always 2. If the Bolts can hold them to 2, they'll win this game. As for my prediction on the matchup, Ish, you can bring it around here as we send it on home. Puck dropping at 7:30. We got to get our gear in. We got to get settled into the arena, have a bite to eat. We got a Go Lightning chance behind us. My prediction tonight, last year in the spot in Game 4, the Bolts jumped out to a 5-0 lead. I don't think it's going to be like that, but I think it's going to be a tight game. I'm going to have the Bolts winning 4-2. It's going to be a 3-2 contest again. Only difference is Tampa Bay will score the empty netter this time. I think they figured out the formula. They just have to execute for the entirety of the game. They can't have a sluggish first 5 minutes. They can't screw up in the final minute of the game when there's a man advantage. 60 minutes of execution. They've done it before. They won 2 cups and made it to a 3rd cup doing that, and I think that experience will help them. And we'll have a 3-game set going back to Toronto on Thursday. If the Bolts can win tonight, they will guarantee another game right here at Amalie Arena on Saturday, and we'll be here for all the action. So thank you for joining us on Facebook Live. Remember, tune in tonight on 10 Tampa Bay at 11 o'clock. We'll have post-game reaction. We'll have the highlights from the game, break down all the scenarios moving forward, and also make sure to stick with us here on Facebook, here on YouTube, as we do a post-game recap after every game, and then also on our social media channels, where we will continually update you throughout the night as the game is going on. So thank you again from Thunder Alley. I am Evan Closky, and let's see what the Bolts got. Game 4, just an hour away.